Hello and welcome back to my Childlock series, where my League playtime is restricted by my child's schedule. I'm only able to actively complete tasks while he's asleep, and I'll be AFK skilling while he's awake. With static point targets for ranking up and relics that boost the AFK grind, this League is really catering to those with busy lives. But how far can these benefits take us? Can a full-time mum like me achieve the Dragon Cup? There's only one way to find out. Let's get into it. So, last week my playtime was reduced, and I expected this week to move a little bit quicker. Well, turns out that life is generally unpredictable with a young baby, so my progress hasn't been quite as speedy as I expected. The spreadsheet I created definitely helped me to prepare tasks in a specific area and knock them out one by one, but a teething baby meant that I had more AFK time than planned this week. I managed to complete 171 tasks and gained 9,170 League points, which is 590 points more than last episode, so at least we're trending up. Honestly, I found I was getting quite stressed about the progress I was making this week. I've been wanting to speed through points and progress up the ranks, but I forgot I now have a chaotic life with an 8-month-old, and playing consistently isn't going to be possible. But after a heart-to-heart with my wonderful husband, I was reminded that this series isn't about the sweaty grind or getting all the points as fast as possible. I'm creating this series to see what a realistic progression could be for a full-time parent in leagues. If I reach the Dragon Cup, then that would be fantastic, but I can't be running myself into the ground in order to achieve it. This series is for slow and steady gaming, so going forward I'll be expecting slow days, but will enjoy the ride on the fast ones. So, what have I been up to over this last week? The biggest update is that I got my first Echo weapon. As I'd been struggling to kill the Echo Moxley with my setup, I decided to kill the normal version for a while to gain the Glacial Tomotley, which should be a bit better on DPS against a Moxley than the Sulphur Blades and Dragon weaponry I was using. After upgrading my weapon and obtaining a power amulet, as I realised I was using a magic amulet this whole time, my kills at the Echo boss were a lot smoother, and a couple of kills later, I got the Infernal tech paddle. I got it! I got it!
Infernal what?
Tech paddle! From here, I continued a few more Moons of Peril where I got the dual Makwa Whittle. This was all within one evening, so my melee build skyrocketed within a few hours, which was incredible. This week I also unlocked my final area. I decided to go with Tyrannon, as I've never unlocked this area during leagues before, so I thought it would be fun to try somewhere new. I also would like to get the Crystal Blessing from the Hunluff. The blessing applies the accuracy and damage bonuses from crystal armor onto all melee and magic powered weapons. It also provides extra magic damage and attack bonuses per crystal armor piece equipped, so this will really boost my magic build once I get it going. I also got enough points to unlock my 7th relic. Here I decided to reload into Conniving Clues. While the guide I was following suggested picking Flow State, I decided that I had enough relics that were focused on the AFK skilling grind, and I wanted to boost my ability to complete clues. They're frustrating at the best of times to complete, so the idea of receiving clue contracts that would teleport me to the next step of my clue was a no-brainer. There are also a lot of tasks associated with clues, so being able to complete them faster was another draw for me. There was a moment after taking the relic that I almost regretted choosing it, as building up the contracts felt a little bit slow. But after completing a few easy clues to build up some contracts, I'm now at a good point where I can use the contracts for the more inconvenient steps and still have a good stash to keep me going. Finally, after a lot of researching into the demonic pact builds, I managed to find the ultimate parent AFK Slayer and bossing build. I found this via Mika's video, which I've linked down below, where he details out the Air and Water Thorns build. This build has a mixture of DPS via the Thorns branch, healing via the Water Spells branch, and huge DPS via the Air branch. With this mixture, I'll have the option of AFKing against enemies using Water Spells, or hitting huge amounts of damage to bosses using Air Spells, depending on whether I'm able to actively play or not. I've started the build, as suggested in the video, by building up the Water Spell branch, which increases my spell casting speed and gives me insane healing abilities, followed by adding a little bit of prayer regeneration via the Air branch. I'm now starting to build up the Thorn branch of the build to boost my DPS to kill enemies that little bit faster while on the Water Spell build. I tested this base build out and it's holding up pretty well. My DPS could definitely be better, but I am mostly surviving against bosses with the healing spells. I still need to be aware of which prayers I'm using, as I managed to get outstacked at Seracnis despite the healing, and it got a little dicey at Fight Caves a couple of times. But this is a great start to the build, and I've already utilised the AFK Slayer nature of the build while editing this video. So that's it for another week in leagues. As of making this video, we are just under 1/3 of the way through the league, and I am just under 1/3 of the way to the Dragon Cup. So I'm exactly on pace to reach it. As my account gets more powerful, I might be able to get through points a little easier, as well as having more options for completing tasks while AFK. So we'll see how I progress over the next week, while also making sure I don't burn myself out. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what your favourite build has been so far in the league. Bye!